Hello everybody, back and ready to lay some rail. Let's get to work and start going toward our $1 billion. Now, in future episodes, I'm not going to start off here showing you that it's transport fever because you already know that. That's why you're going to make it to the third episode because you watched the first two. And I'm not going to waste your time looking at the ass end of an airplane or front end of a train. We're just going to start off on the map and skip this loading time. Just as a courtesy to you, I've already identified two routes that are possible in the first segment here, right here together, and they both push product into Omaha. So this is really a great random seed, and that was my oil well to the refinery and the farm to the food processing plant. Now, which one should I use? They're pretty much equidistant. I think the oil route is just a little bit longer. If I wanted to, I could actually push it down to this other refinery and extend the route just a little bit farther out, which may make my route a little bit more profitable. Again, trains are most profitable on medium to long routes, as long as you don't get too long. You reach a point of diminishing returns, especially when you have loans and it's a starter mode where you have slow trains. And that's because if you go more than a year in a loop, you're getting hit by interest twice in one full circuit, and that's just bad. It cuts into your profits tremendously. But why is a longer route preferable to a shorter route? And you have to think about what happens when a train pulls out of the station and starts chugging along to the next destination. This starter train has a top speed of 25 miles an hour. That doesn't mean it's going to go 25 miles an hour the whole way. It's starting off at 0. It has cargo. It has a lot of weight. It takes a while to reach full speed, and the starter trains especially take a long time. I may not be up to full speed till I'm out here somewhere. And so a longer route, let's say it takes me this long to get to full speed, and I'm just using this food processing plant. Well, then as I near the food processing plant, I start to slow down. I can't pull into the station, slam on the brakes, and stop my train in 20 meters. I'd go off the end of the rail, especially if this is a terminal station. Crash, spread livestock all over the area, and that wouldn't be a good scenario. So it has to slow down before it gets there. So my train isn't going full speed the entire length of the route. I get to full speed here, start slowing down here. I've only spent 40% of this leg going full speed, as opposed to slightly longer. I get to full speed here, slow down here. Now I've spent 50%, maybe 55% of this leg going full speed. The longer I can keep my train at full speed on my route, the more money I'm making. There's a greater percentage of time. My average speed for the whole route is higher. And I'm getting financially rewarded based on how much cargo am I transporting, how far am I transporting it, and how fast am I getting it there. So when I create longer routes, that allows me to transport at top speed for a greater percentage of my route, which boosts my income. There's another one way over here. Would that be better? Pretty far away. Got terrain change here and here. This one wouldn't be real bad. This one would slow my train down on the way back. This is kind of pushing it on distance for a starter train. Later on in the game, you could very well see me dump this food processing plant, extend the line because it's right along the way with Fullerton right here. I could very well end up pushing my food processing facility out to this site here, because as my trains get faster, this becomes a very workable distance. For now, we're just going to go here. Going to forget about this terrain. I don't like that grade for the starter train. So a longer line is preferred as long as you don't get carried away and try to go halfway across the map. The next thing I want to consider, I have two choices. I have the oil fuel route and I have the livestock food route. Which one do I want to bring into Omaha? Let's click on Omaha and look at this. It shows you what the initial demand is. My initial demand for food is 44. My initial demand for heating oil or fuel is 45. That's pretty similar. In some cases, you'll see this differs by 4 or 5. And most of the time, I would say the commodities are in greater demand than the industrial type things. People want to shop instead of work. Hey, don't we all? We'd rather go shopping and spend money than go to work and earn money. That's pretty much, this game was built for women. Or based on their lifestyle habits. I'm not saying women don't want to work. I'm just saying women like to shop. But sometimes there is a bit of a significant difference between the two. In this case, who cares? There's only a difference of 1. That doesn't really make much difference. If one was favored over the other, say jobs was 49 and this was 44, I would definitely go for fuel because I can provide more product before I oversupply Omaha. So that makes it a preferred route. Personally, I like going with food over fuel, and so I'm going to build this route first. And then my next route will be my fuel line, and I'll get to have both coming into Omaha. So, first thing I want to do is set up my train station. Now, I have absolutely nothing over here I could possibly be interested in hauling this way unless I just want to take steers to the edge of the world, dump them off, and see what happens to them when they go over the edge. So I can build a terminal station. I don't have to have the ability to take anything this direction, which makes this a little bit simpler. Now, because I'm willing to take out loans and I know I'm going to need the space in the future, I'm going to extend my station out to a full 320 meters if it fits. And I think the other thing I'm going to do right from the beginning is spend a little money and push that road over a little bit. Don't be afraid to spend a little money early on. This is just a couple $1,000s. I'm not penny pincher mode. It's really not going to hurt me. If spending $20,000, now that would hurt me to spend that much. If spending $10,000 or $20,000 hurts me in the beginning, then I didn't have a good setup. At the same time, you don't want to randomly throw away money. Now, is this terrain going to cause trouble? Really? There we go. Okay, I just made a mistake. Anybody know what it was? I did this on purpose. I built a passenger terminal. Why would I do that? Because I wasn't paying attention. It's very easy to do. Even people who play Transport Fever a lot make this mistake. If I'm in penny pincher mode, I just severely handicap myself. I'm not in penny pincher mode, so I don't care. That's why I did it. I want you to understand every time. Listen to me now. New players. Every time you build a truck, bus, rail facility, check to make sure you're in the appropriate passenger or cargo setup before you build your building. You will make mistakes. It's one of the most common mistakes people make. They forget to check to see that they're in cargo mode before they build something they want to transport cargo mode in. They forget to check to see that they're in passenger mode before they decide to build a bus terminal, and they end up with a freight terminal. Make sure you're in the mode you want to be before you build your building, especially in penny pincher mode. It can hurt you drastically. So we have our line started. We do have a cargo terminal, which is what we wanted. And we need to run over here. We're going to use this facility with the expectation in the future I'm going to take it all the way down to here. Once again, I can build a terminal station instead of just a train station because I probably won't be sending anything in the other direction. Now, one thing we want to look for when we set this up is when we attach to the road, we want to make sure our production facility lights up the way it does. It gets highlighted. That means that whatever it produces is going to make it to the railhead. It's in the railhead's catchment area, so they can trade goods back and forth basically for free. If it was farther down the road and this wasn't lit up, everything I brought in would never make it there unless I trucked it there, which would be really stupid because all I had to do was move my railroad down a little bit and it just goes there automatically with no extra effort needed on my part. So now we want to lay track. Another mistake people make, especially new players, is they go, hey, I can make a whole bunch of track really quick. Let's start doing this. And this probably won't show up as well as, I'll show you this again when I get into more terrain. But, man, I don't want to waste time micromanaging this. I'm just going to build a bunch of track. Okay? And like I said, in this example, it's probably not going to be clear as later on in the game I'll definitely show you how much of a difference this can make. But let's pick something out here. Let's go to this tree right here. We're going to build this little tree right on my cursor. $195,000. $197,000. Now I'm going to attempt to go to the same place and I'll take shorter segments. Well, first of all, let's see if we can optimize it. Nope. 197. So I'm going to try to build just south of this tree and let's see how much money it's going to really cost me. If I try to optimize using my N and M keys, play with them and see if you can find a cheaper build than what the AI offers you. There's 25. Okay, couldn't reduce that one. That's 29, 25, 54. 54 and 32. I don't really, that's not quite going the right way. 54 and 28, 84. Okay, this is going to show up pretty well. And here we are at the exact same place. 84, 105. Give or take 1 or 2,000 because I rounded off. What I could build for a minimum of 167,000 in one long stretch, I just built for barely over 100. By taking short segments and optimizing each segment, you save a ton of money. And there's times where there's more terrain where it's even more severe, like on a stretch of road like this. So a stretch of rail may cost 450, 500,000 if you build it in one chunk, and you turn around and do it like I did, and it cost you 160,000. Huge amounts of money can be saved if you build your rail in little chunks and optimize each chunk using your N and M keys. Now again, if you're in easy or medium mode, who cares? You have so much money it doesn't matter. But when you're in hard mode, even more important when you're laying rail in penny pincher mode, this saves you a ton of money building this way. So just get in the habit of doing that. Takes a little more time, saves a lot of money. All you do is make a short stretch, then you use your M&M keys and see if you can build it for lower than what its initial offer is. The AI is a lot like a car salesman. Its initial offer is rarely the best that you can get. It wants to see if you're willing to pay more money first. And here we're going to have to, because of the direction out of the farm is pretty much dictated by the layout of the fields, I'm going to have to throw in a little bit of a turn. And again, I want to make it as gradual as possible. I could make it real hardcore over here. It's really going to slow my train down. The smoother and gentler the turn possible, the faster my train can travel as it negotiates the turn. And you also want to have your maps lined up. You want to have both rail lined up so you don't end up getting closer and realize, you know, I could have made this I could have had a lot better layout if I just would have paid attention to where that other part of my line was as I built. And this road may be a trouble. It doesn't like roads that are close together and having too many crossings close together, so I may just want to change that a little bit, which I'm going to do when I build my my fuel line anyway. Go and totally modify this road, so I'll just do it now in anticipation of the future. See, it doesn't want me to do that because there's too much crossing. And I'm just going to destroy this road right now. I'm looking ahead. I'm going to need this road anyway because I'm going to use this oil well. And I'm going to be shipping product into town here, so what I really want to do is make a road that's efficient for my trucks. Now, I want to go to country road. So I'm just going to build it down this way. And again, when you build road, same thing. You can save money by taking short chunks, optimizing the road as you go. Hit the X. Check. There. Now I'm not going to interfere with my train. And I make it easier to... Is it still not going to let me do it? Okay. Whenever you have something like this, here's a simple solution. Destroy the road that's causing the issue. We have a clash between the road bed and the railroad bed. Build your road. Or build your drain. And just build your road back over top of it. It'll let you do that almost every time. So it didn't let me build the railroad over the road. So I destroy the road, build the railroad, and then it lets me build the road over the railroad. Such are the little strange things that occur in transport fever that you just deal with and move on. Now I have a couple things left to do. I have to establish my truck route. And I have to build a train depot here, and then I have to designate my lines, build my trains, and we'll watch it a couple loops and talk about that as we first start off. And then I will take a break and we'll let it build up money. So now, trying to decide how to lay out my truck route, I need to turn on land use. I'm bringing in food, so I want to definitely cover as many of my commercial buildings as possible, but thinking ahead, my next route is going to be bringing fuel into town, and when that happens, I'm going to want to cover as much as my industry as possible. So, is there a way to build this so I can cover all of this with one truck terminal? Let's find out. I'm in freight. Only need a small truck station for now. I guarantee you this isn't going to work. That gets almost all my commercial buildings. That gets all my industry buildings and some of my commercial. This will get even less of what I want. Darn. There's no way I can get everything. Or is there? Maybe, just maybe. If I build something in here, I can get all of it. No. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. Many times this works, so we'll see. If I build a little road like this, maybe I can get all of them. If you're in penny pincher mode, don't do this. If I was in penny pincher mode, I'd be telling you, build it out here, take the commercial buildings, then build another one over here when it's time to do the fuel. But I'm not. I'm willing to take out loans. I still have $500,000 anyway. Let's spend it. I can take out a loan to provide all the vehicles I need. I'm going to destroy buildings and make roads, and we'll see if that improves my setup. Now the question is, where do I want to go? Whenever you destroy buildings, things to keep in mind. Residential buildings cost less money to destroy than commercial and industrial buildings. I'll prove it to you. I'm not really going to build this road, but watch. That's even a bad example. That's $102,000. A lot of times you can destroy a residential building for less than 100, like right here. I'm building a little road. I'm destroying one building, $77,000. Okay, that's typical. A lot of times, if you hunt between buildings, you can find one for 56 or 77. But commercial building, not the case. There's 103, and I'd really be. Matter of fact, I may come back to this building when I actually do it. 103 is a bargain. Industry, one building, 104. So, as you can see, if Sometimes because the way it builds, there may be a residential building right in here. That's the building you'd try to pick out to knock down because it's cheaper. Whenever you can, knock down a residential building before you knock down commercial or industrial because they're cheaper to destroy. But I don't have that option here. There aren't any residential buildings. This one's too far out. So let's try about right here. If you can only knock down one building, much preferable to knocking down 2 or 3 because it really ramps up the cost. Now, I built a little extra block with my road. Now let's see. I'm in freight. Let's see if this helps. Can I get everybody or not? I can almost get everybody. Oh, look at that. Wait. There we go. Come back here. Gotcha. Too much curvature. Don't tell me that. Should I admit defeat? Should I admit defeat? Why is there too much curvature? Because it's right on the corner of the road. Okay, cool. Spent a lot of money so far. Why not just spend a little more? I'll make this road come out straight. I'll make this road just lean over there a little bit. Now let's try it again. In freight. Bingo. Whoops. How about if I put it right here on I know it'll work. Come on. I'm so close. Make it work. If I only miss one commercial building, I won't be too upset. Let's try over here. See if that improves the situation. Ooh, there's everybody. Okay, for now, that's fine. I got every commercial and industry. No, I don't, because I don't have that. Drats. I'm going to have to give up. I think I'm going to have to give up that one commercial building. There we go. Did that get everybody? Perfect. At the beginning, I'm going to be able to service with my first 2 lines. I'll be able to service every available building. Now, you don't get to control. Unfortunately, you don't get to zone like in a city builder and restrict commercial to only coming over here, restrict industry to only coming over here. What may well happen in the future, and I don't know. We'll start building subdivisions over here and decide to build factories over here. I can't control that. I do try to help the game make its own choices, because I'll build a couple roads right here and try to prime the pump on where development's going to occur. I can't really say if this is effective or not. I've never done a study on it, but I try it just to see. It's an ongoing series of observations for me to see if I'm bringing in commercial product, does having available roads help spur growth of commerce in this area? Don't really know. So I have my freight depot built here. I shouldn't say depot because they in this game that they use that term for another thing. I need to build my truck station at the farm because I have to be able to get my trucks loaded with the food as it comes back off the rail. Now, in this case, probably not going to be an issue because these are so close together. A mistake people make a lot of times is they're thinking I have to get this farm highlighted, but I don't, because I'm going to be getting my product off the rail. So I want to make sure I light the rail, and this is hard to see. But watch right here along the outline of the edge of the entrance to the rail station. You'll see gray lines appear here if it's in the catchment area of my train station or my truck station. Watch, right here we go. The lines aren't there when I attach to the road. You can see how the area into my train station lights up with thin gray lines. As long as that occurs, that means my truck and my train station are going to push product back and forth. I want to have my truck station as close to the other terminal as possible. So I could have had this way back here, but it makes my truck route longer for no reason. It's not going to really help me that much. It just makes it longer. I want to have it as these truck stations as close together as possible so that they spend less time on the road, and that allows them to spend more time delivering goods. The shorter this route is between these two destinations, the quicker they can complete the route and go back and get more, which reduces the number of trucks I need to get the cargo into town. And it also reduces the operating cost per unit of cargo carried, which is the real goal here, is to optimize my financial efficiency amongst all these different things I'm doing. Now for trucks, I need one more thing, and that is I need a place to get my trucks from. So I need to build a depot. And I think I will build it right here. Eventually I will definitely do bus service. Once I get the motorized coaches, I'll start running the bus company as well for some additional profit. You can be amazed at how much money you can make on buses. In hard mode, that's a godsend. By the end of the game, I'll be making millions of dollars a year on buses. And when you're going for billionaire, that could very well be the difference between reaching my goal and not reaching my goal. I don't do it with stagecoaches and beyond because they're just so slow. It's hard to meet the demand. Once you get the motorized coaches, they go a lot faster. And so once that's pretty much the point I start running bus lines. And I'm talking about inner city bus lines between different cities. They can really push a lot of passengers down the road. So I need one more thing, and that is my train depot. I need to be able to get a train out in the line. And I'm going to build it right here. This may be different than some people do it. I don't know. And I will tell you why in probably the next episode. I will show you and demonstrate to you why I built it in this configuration. I want to build it close to my resource center. Easy, medium mode, I'm not looking to do this. Easy, medium mode, I'm looking at, let's see, I'm going to have a train line here. I'm going to have a train line this way. I'm going to build it right here and service both of them. But for difficult mode, especially if I was in penny pincher mode, this is my preferred setup, and I'm just giving you a teaser right here. I will tell you why I like it this way next episode, because I'll show you exactly what I do with this setup. There's this very specific reason I put it right here. So now it's time to build trucks and build trains. In order to get this route up and running, I have to establish a demand. We have a farm here capable of farming, but for some reason they aren't producing anything right now. They've just been hanging out in the countryside with 1,000 different fields producing absolutely nothing. Or, probably not the case, they probably have contracts to other people. They don't have anything available for me to pick up. So that's the way I prefer to think of it, to have it make any kind of sense at all. Yes, they're actual farming and ranching, but they've been shipping that off through somebody else. Here I come with my new shiny pretty rail line saying, hey, send some of that stuff to me. We sign a contract and they'll start producing for me. But I have to show them that I'm able to meet my commitment to cart off goods before they start diverting their livestock from some other transport company and giving it to me. I have to show them, yes, my rail line works and it is capable of taking your product. So before they give me any, I have to run a train and show them, yep, it's all up and running and I'm ready to roll. I also have to do it with my truck line. So I'm going to build a train, put it out in the line, and I'm going to build a truck. Now, this runs contrary to what a lot of people will say. And I'm telling you this way because there are times where you're going to take out so many loans in building a slightly longer rail, maybe with more terrain because you're not playing in flat, you're playing in mountainous or something like that, that you don't really want to take out any more loans in the future after you build your train. And so I want you to build your trucks first. It will cause a little bit of a financial loss by having trucks run empty. It won't go very long, and it's completely sustainable. And if you do it the wrong way, it's often unrecoverable. I want you to build trucks first and not just one to establish demand. Just build them all. It doesn't hurt you that much overall. It's easier to do. You don't have to remember to go back and add trucks. And for this short route, my goal for me, I'm just going to choose 7 cars of freight. That'll give me 49 cargo. And I think what I'll do, just to make this a little better, is to build a road this way, because it's really going to reduce the distance my truck's going to have to go to get to the depot. Instead of going down here and all the way around and going around in the loop, I'll just go right here and it'll come right back. So I'm going to just guess, let's see, each horse cart can carry 4. I'm going to be bringing back 49. I probably don't need a 1-to-1 ratio because let's just do that. 49, let's go with 8 trucks and then we'll adjust from there. This may be a little low, and I haven't built my line yet. Let's designate my line. We'll define where these trucks are going to go. Now I can just click on the depot and assign them. Line 1. There is your route. And then I want to define my line for the rail. And build my train. Now, as soon as I build the train, I'll show you why I built all my trucks at once. Don't have a choice on engines. I only have the Baldwin 6 wheels. So we buy him. Don't have enough money. I have to take out loans. I'm just going to take out 3 sets of loans. Now I buy my Baldwin. And I go down to boxcars because I'm hauling livestock and food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll take out another loan. I really want to do 7. 7, and because I can, I'll do 8. Here's why I'm buying that last car. It's like, well, if you only wanted 7, why did you buy the 8th car? Why not just save that money? Because when I start up my route, I am going to go deeply into debt. There's no way around it. I'm in hard mode. I will go into debt. And if I didn't turn as much money into some kind of hard asset as possible, I'm just throwing it down the drain. It's going to disappear. I'm going to be using it to help cover my losses. I would rather turn it into something that's going to generate income for me than just flush it down the garbage disposal, which is what would happen if I didn't spend it. If you have excess money lying around and you have the ability to add another cargo car, do it. Have money work for you instead of work against you. And I guarantee you're about to see, I am going to go into debt. And that brings me back to, why did you build your trucks right away? And because I have money left over, and I think I may need a couple more horse carts, I'm going to buy 2 more right now. Here's why. Like I said, I am going to go into debt. There is no way around it. I am going to probably be down at least $500,000 before my train reaches full capacity and I start actually generating income instead of this initial train being a financial sinkhole. So let's pretend I just built 1 truck, because everybody says start your line off with 1 truck until you establish demand. Well, by the time this truck gets over here and gets back, there's a good chance I'm going to be in the negative. And I'm not recovering from this for a long time. And if I only have one truck, unless I take out a loan, I'm not recovering from it at all. Because what's going to happen is my train's going to run down here empty. And it's going to run all the way back empty because since the food processing plant received no steers, they can't butcher anything and send food back. So my next trip I'll have a few steers on my train and come out here. They will still have nothing to bring back because they just got the livestock. They have to have time to butcher it. So it's going to take several loops and still this starts making any money at all. In the meantime, I'm going to deeper and deeper in debt. And if I'm in the red, I don't have any money left to buy trucks. So here's my little truck motoring back and forth. I finally have like 15 steers to bring back. Yay, I get back here and I have one truck. That can haul 4 at a time, and if it's lucky, it completes one entire route before my train gets back. Maybe if I'm really lucky, it completes 2 entire routes. And my train comes back with 30 steers, 30 pieces of food. And here's my one truck. And I'm still in the red. And all of a sudden, before long, I have so much food stockpiled at my depot, at my truck station, my freight station, that the butcher shop says, hey, you don't have any more place to store food there. I'm going to quit butchering for your company. And I start bringing back hardly any food. And because he doesn't need steers to butcher, the farm starts giving me livestock. And pretty soon, I'm carrying a minimal amount of cargo both ways. And now I can't recover. I'm so deeply into debt, there's no way out of it. All because I only chose to build one truck. Now this is for hard mode. Same rules don't apply on easy and moderate mode because you make so much money again it's hard to go bankrupt. You earn money much quicker. And you start off with more money so it's not an issue to begin with. But there's why I start off with all my trucks right away. And you'll see how quickly I go into debt. It doesn't take long. Save yourself the aggravation of destroying what is really a promising game, because remember, I have another starter route right here waiting to get going as soon as I make the money. And you can say, yeah, but you only took out 3 loans. You could take out more and recover. All that does is delay how quickly I make money. Every $500,000 loan I take out costs me about $13,500 of interest per year. Okay? Per year. 10 trucks running empty for a couple years is going to cost me far less money than paying $13,500 a year until the trucks start making money. So financially it makes sense for me to do it this way. It prevents a financial disaster from happening in that I can't get enough trucks online to transport my cargo. So when you look at it long term, it makes sense just to build your initial trucks right away. Don't put yourself in a position that you can't recover from. So I have my line assigned to the train and we're all set and ready to go. Let's turn it on and see how it works. This segment's probably going to be a little bit longer than any other segment because I want you to see how long it takes for this train to build up to full capacity. And I want you to see how far into debt I'm going to go. Look, I haven't even made it to the by the time I made it to the farm, I already lost $31,000. Like I said, I'm going in the hole. The only question is, how low can I go? Because I'm headed down into the depths of apparent financial ruin. But no despair. Don't worry. Don't make a total noob move and say, oh my God, I'm minus $5,000 like I will be soon. I need to take out a loan. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You'll kill yourself. Let yourself go into debt. Doesn't matter. Nobody's going to come knocking on your door and threaten to break your kneecap if you don't pay back the money you own. This is not the Italian version of the game. There's no mafia. When you go into the hole, let it go. Here's what happens if you take out a loan, and I'm about ready to go negative probably next month. Well, close. I still have $3,000 left to play with, basically. My trucks are up. As soon as I get here, I'll probably start producing. Yep, I have livestock running already. They're starting to send cows my way because, hey, Omaha's asking for steers. Our steakhouses, man, our people want to eat. Now I'm negative. Don't take out a loan to cover this negative. You're throwing money down the drain. Because if I take out $500,000, it'll give me 441 positive, and it's just going to disappear. And I get nothing back for the loan. The only time you take a loan is if you are immediately ready to convert it into assets that will generate income for you. Taking out a loan to cover a deficit doesn't generate anything except additional debt and a higher interest payment. So I'll say this again. For those of you less financially astute, never take out a loan in this game unless you are immediately prepared to convert it into hard assets that will generate money for you. And by that I mean you're going to use it to build a railway and trains, you're going to use it for trucks, you're going to use it for airplanes, you're going to use it for boats. If you can immediately spend that loan on something that produces money, do it. If you're just doing it to cover a loss, don't do it. It just makes your financial situation worse. I'm already down to minus 263. Have nothing on my train. This looks like a nightmare waiting to happen. But it's not. Stay the course. Be patient. It's going to take a couple trips back and forth before this train starts becoming profitable. I have had cases in hard mode where I've been over $1 million in debt. No biggie. And so here's the boring part of the game. I'm going to sit here and watch my train go back and forth and back and forth. Actually, in this mode with the slow train, I am going to... It goes slow. It's not going to happen quickly. I have a little bit of livestock. A couple steers lining up saying, kill me, kill me. 27. Pretty much 50% full. That's cool. I'm going to make a little money on the way over here. I'm starting to haul cargo. Meanwhile, my horse carts are continuing to go back and forth with no product, but they're learning the route. They're learning how to negotiate traffic with a horse. Mostly, they're pooping all over the place and making this road an evil, nasty, smelly place to negotiate on foot. $449 in the hole. This is awesome. Let's look at this. What's my length? 14 minutes. That's actually pretty good. Pretty much just kind of in the sweet spot for generating income. Kind of a longer medium line and a shorter long line. But I should generate good income once I get up to full capacity, especially since I'm running 56 cargo. I'm down $500,000. Before I generate my first bit of income, I've lost $500,000. And when you consider that I started with a positive 120 something, I think now overall I've lost about 800,000. My investors are worried. They're coming by the office and going, "Where's all that money you promised we were going to be making?" I'm like, "Hey, calm down. Domani, domani." So now I'll go back to Italian again. Tomorrow, tomorrow, the money will come. Yay, $195,000. Only half full. That's a little bit of foreshadowing of what is about to come. Now, I don't have anything on my return trip. Every once in a while, when you get that first product into your processing plant, no matter what it is, it may convert one over just in time to get it on the train, and you'll come back with one or two. Never anything significant. They're busy butchering and turning things into bread. How they turn cows into bread, I'm not certain if this is some kind of biblical moment or what, but that's what's happening. They show bread. It's really food. We know we're bringing back hamburgers and steaks and ribs and all kinds of things that people in Omaha will probably fight over once they get. This is the Wild West. After all, gunplay is occurring. They don't portray it, but trust me, it's there. Somewhere in Omaha right now, a marshal's busting some drunk cowboy up on the side of the head and say, "Stop shooting up my town." So I went a year and a half before I generated my first dollar. And I'm going to go several more years before I'm actually becoming a profitable line, because right now I'm still losing money. Now I have a lot more livestock on the loading ramps ready to get on my train. And the next trip back to the farm, I will be bringing food. I'm up to 27 now. I'm not going to get more than that, because if you recall, I think I took 27 steers down there. I'm only going to have 27 units of food to come back. This time I'm taking 49 down, so I'll have 27 back this trip, most likely 48 to 50 back next trip, and then the trip after that I will probably be full capacity both ways. And at that point, I can evaluate this initial train and see if it's worthwhile to continue playing the game. Here's going to be my alternatives. Here's my choices. I reach full capacity so I can take a good, honest look, an accurate look at how much money my line's going to make. And I don't have any worries about this. I already know, based on having done hard mode enough times before, this is going to make enough money that I'm going to want to keep playing. But if you don't have the experience and maybe you have a little bit of a whack route because of terrain or whatever, it's not a fairly straight line, it may be you have to make a decision, because you're going to find out, yes, I'm making money, but I'm only making like 20,000 a loop. And so it's going to literally take me decades to earn enough money to take the next step. And if I'm trying to make $1 billion, there's no way this route's going to be to generate enough income to allow me to do that. So maybe I should just stop now and try a different map, or try a different route on this same map a different way. And that's one possibility. The other possibility is going to be like this one is, where it's going to generate, now I'm down $1.1 million. It's going to generate enough income that I consider it playable and doable, and I can meet my goals, so I'm going to continue playing. And then the other alternative is, this is the complete epic failure, hardcore, God, I suck outcome, and that is I'm running full capacity both ways, and I'm still losing money. That is completely non-recoverable. If you're up and running full cargo both directions and you're still losing money, stop the game. Don't go through the frustration of trying to make it profitable. Just start over and evaluate why it didn't make money, maybe before you trash the map, and then next time do things different. If you follow the advice I just gave you and go farm close to town, to food processing plant, or oil well close to town, to refinery, in both cases farther away, preferably between 9 and 20 minutes away, you build a fairly straight route. You don't go over a lot of terrain. I make a little curve here so I don't have to go over this hill. You follow those simple steps, you will make enough money to keep playing. I guarantee it. Or your money back. Now I'm running 28 back. I'm half full on the way back. And we're almost to the point where we get to evaluate this route. And I'll show you that it's going to be a moneymaker. And then I'll take a break and just let the train run and generate enough income to take the next step, which will probably be to build my fuel line. Now, along the way, I'm going to be looking at, do I have the correct number of trucks or horse carts to haul off the food to town without letting the surplus build up and without having a bunch of carts run empty. I will try to optimize that a little bit in between segments, and I'll show you what I did. I'll have plenty of time throughout the course of the game to show you how to optimize a route between train and truck. I was down $1 million, down 848,000, and the year just turned over, so I had my interest payment. So I've already recovered almost $300,000. Now I'm going to continue to lose money due to maintenance costs at the first of every month as we go here. But I'm full cargo this way. I'm not quite full cargo that way, and I bet even not quite being full cargo both ways, I'm going to really start cutting into my debt. The good thing is, running 56 steers this way, I can take a look at how much money I make, and that'll be a great indicator of what my line's going to make in both directions here in the near future. And it's going to be a nice number. Definitely be a number I can live with and move on in my pursuit of $1 billion. My goal is to catch the Trump. And while we wait on this train to move back and forth a couple of times, have a little dead time. Whether you like him or hate him, President Trump's financial empire actually got its start in the Wild West. I don't know how many of you know that. His, father, grandfather, I guess it would be his great-grandfather, was an immigrant from Germany, and his name at the time was Drumpf. It was like D-U-R-M-P-F. And he came to the United States with just like $50 in his pocket, got a job in New York City as a barber, and got bored there. Heard about a gold rush out in the Seattle area, moved out to Washington because he wanted to get in on the action. And he, with a couple partners out there, bought a hotel. And he catered to the unsavory side of mining towns, which is drinking, gambling, and women. So he basically ran a whorehouse that served food and beds beyond just the whores. And made a lot of money doing it. A lot of money. And then they discovered another gold strike north up into Canada, and he sold his portion of that hotel, and I think with one other friend went up, surveyed the route that people would be taking to get up to that new mining camp, built a hotel halfway along it to where people would need some place to stop. And it was a gold mine for him. He wasn't mining gold, he was taking gold from all the people going to and from the gold mine. Furthered his success, went back to Seattle, bought a bigger and better hotel, and soon became known as having the best, basically the best whorehouses in town. Whether you wanted just a room for the night without a woman, whether you wanted a good meal, or whether you wanted a good woman, you could find them at his establishments. And he made hundreds of thousands of dollars. He didn't become a millionaire, but he made a lot of money. His son didn't really like that kind of lifestyle, moved back to New York, and made a small fortune in real estate. Again, mostly through hotels and other types of real estate dealings. And that money was handed down to Donald Trump, who continued the family tradition of increasing the fortune every generation, mostly through hotels and service-related buildings. So, a little bit of history. Like I said, whether you like his politics or not, I could care less. But this kind of setup in the Wild West was actually where his family started making their family fortune. For 3 generations in a row, the male of the family took the money he was giving and grew it exponentially to pass on to his offspring, and Trump continued that tradition. Politics, who cares? Businessmen, pretty astute family. So, we've made a complete trip, 56 back, both ways, and I've already cut my deficit by about 40%. And like I said, in between towns, in between stops, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into debt. But just 2 trips ago, we were at $1 million. Now we're down to 720. As we pull in, we'll get an exact count on how much money we're making on one leg. And I will show you that it's obviously going to be a financial success. Just have to give it years to play out and generate income. And then I'll take a break. And when I come back, we will take the next step toward reaching $1 billion. And that's probably going to be building my fuel line. Short-term plans. When the 440 American comes out, I will probably upgrade a train to that and maybe add 1 or 2 cars depending on how my needs are being met in Omaha. Build the other line, get that running up to peak capacity, and then we'll search the map for more of these easy type routes and see where else on this map I can build something that's going to generate income quickly to help provide seed money to really get that big expansion I'm going to need to significantly boost my income in the 1990s and get me upwards to $1 billion. Down to 551,000. Cut my debt in half in just a matter of a couple legs of this route. Obviously going to be a good money maker. Made $432,000 already this year. The year just switched over. I won't have another interest payment. So you can get an idea that a lot of times on starter routes, I mean, it's viable. If you're making $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, probably $100,000 is a little weak if you're trying for $1 billion. If you're just trying to survive in penny pincher or something until the year 2000, $100,000 a year is fine. Going for $1 billion, that's probably not enough to allow you to expand quickly enough to reach $1 billion. The amount of money this is generating, yes, I'm not going to have any trouble. Well, I can't say that because I haven't really scouted out the rest of the map. But I definitely have enough initial income coming in. My cash flow is strong enough that I should be able to reach $1 billion. And we're going to pull into the depot. We're going to actually check the amount this time instead of just saying we're going to. And then we'll take a break. While we're doing it, we're serving 50% of demand in Omaha right now. So I definitely will have room to expand my route and bring more product back. And I'll have the demand in Omaha that will be able to absorb the extra cargo. Here we go. How much money did we make this leg with a full car? Almost full. $392,000. Awesome. That will definitely put me back in the green here in relatively short order. So 392 each way, and that was 2 units of food less than full. It's going to be several $1,000s more than that overall. So I'm going to be making over $700,000 a loop, which is definitely a good amount of income for the starter route. So next time we come back, we will take the next step. We'll look at balancing this truck line and how I do it, and then we'll take the next step toward building towards $1 billion.